This lesson is about the properties of mathematics. The essential question is, how can commutative and associative properties be used to simplify numerical expressions? How can commutative and associative properties be used to simplify numerical expressions? Okay, we're going to start off with some definitions. First is the commutative property. Of addition. And an example of that would be 8 plus 4 gives the same sum as 4 plus 8. Both sums equal 12. 8 plus 4 is 12, 4 plus 8 is 12. So basically, the order in which they're added doesn't matter because they're going to come to the same answer. I wanted to also you to take note of that keyword sum there. Remember that sum is the answer of an addition problem. Another example that you might see is if you have the quantity of 3 plus 1 plus 5 gives you the same solution as 5 plus the quantity of 1 plus 3. If you notice here, again, they're the same numbers. We have 3, 1, and 5, 3, 1, and 5, but they're in a different order. If you look inside the parentheses, however, you'll notice that the numbers are the same. We have 3 and 1, and then 1 and 3. Both of these sums will equal 9. And let's just verify that. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. That's right. And then, if remember our lesson earlier with PEMDAS, the order of operations, we do parentheses first. 1 plus 3 is 4. 5 plus 4 is indeed 9. And again, we want to make a note here. We want to notice the numbers inside the parentheses are the same. We also have the commutative property of multiplication. And this works exactly the same way. An example would be 6 times 3 is the same product as 3 times 6. Notice I use the word product here. Product is the answer to a multiplication problem. Both of these products are equal to 18. A harder example would be 5 times the quantity of 4 times 3 is equal to the quantity of 3 times 4 times 5. If we want to solve these using the order of operations, on the left side, 4 times 3 gives us 12. And 5 times 12 gives us 60. On the right-hand side, 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 5 is 60. 60 does in fact equal to 60, so these products are the same. Notice again that inside the parentheses, the numbers are the same. They did not change, except the only thing that changed was the order. I always think of commutative property as you're going to work or you're going to school. It's the same distance from your house to school, but you go one way to get to school, and then you go the opposite way. So it doesn't matter what order you take because it's the same distance. The next property we're going to talk about is the associative property. So the first one we're going to talk about is the associative property of addition. So an example of that would be that the sum, the quantity of 3 plus 5 plus 9 has the same result as the quantity of 9 plus 5 plus 3. Now let's see if that's true. 3 plus 5 gives us 8, and 8 plus 9 is 17. The other one, we have 9 plus 5, that gives us 14, plus 3 is 17. So both sums are equal to 17. You might be wondering, what's the difference between the associative property and the commutative property? Well, if you take a look inside the parentheses here, are they the same numbers? They are not, and that is the big difference here. There's one same number, 5, but the other two are not the same. So that's really the main difference between the associative property and the commutative property. So just like the commutative property, the associative property can also be used with multiplication. So the associative property of multiplication . And an example of that would be the quantity of 2 times 5 times 7 equals to the quantity of 7 times 2 times 5. So let's verify this. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 7 is 70. On the right-hand side, 7 times 2 is 14 times 5, and 14 times 5 is 70. So that is true. And a special note here that we want to take, and I'm sorry it's going into our summary box a little bit. The numbers inside the parentheses are different. Okay. Remember, the summary is your job. You basically want to answer the essential question the best you can and using your own words. And the left-hand margin where it says questions, these are the type of questions that you must be able to answer. That's how, if you can answer them, that's how you know that you have mastered this topic. This is what you should use to study for exams and quizzes. You should go through these questions and see how you do with them. So one question that you'll need to be able to answer is what property was used to go from negative 2x plus 3 plus 4x equals 12 to 3 plus 4x minus 2x equals 12. So just think about what changed from the first expression to from the first equation to the second equation, and you should be able to say which property the person used. Another question that you'll need to be able to answer is what property is illustrated? And they could give you an example. So this example is the quantity of 4x plus 3 plus 5 is equal to the quantity of 5 plus 4x plus 3. So you'll need to be able to answer questions 1 and 2 to be able to say that you successfully understand this topic. If you have any questions, please bring them tomorrow in class and we will discuss this further. Thanks. Have a good night.